هذا is one of the most common words in the Quran and Arabic in general. While the direct translation for هذا should just simply be the demonstrative pronoun this translation is not exactly a fair reflection of the deep embedded meaning that this word actually carries in Arabic. What you are about to learn today about how this simple word was used in the Quran will really amaze you and show you the incredible accuracy of the Quran and the Arabic language. So, if هذا doesn't only mean this, what does it actually mean? Well, first of all, the word هذا is a combination of two words, ها and the. The second part, is the demonstrative pronoun, which is the part that literally translates into this. So, what about that first part then? Well, the first part of the word ha is what grammarians call حرف تنبيه, or a particle of alerting, which does exactly what its name suggests. It alerts the listener or grabs their attention. In Old English, it is similar but not exactly the same as saying lo or behold. And so, if we were to translate the true embedded meaning of هذا, it wouldn't just be this, it would be attention. This here is. So, this actually is the reason why we do not say هذا, but هذا, with an alif between the ha and the dhal. We never actually write that first alif because of how often this word is used. We can also see that this is the case with all its variations. So, هذه, the feminine version, is also made up of two parts. The same goes for the plural version, هؤلاء. So it is also made up of ha, the particle of alerting, and أولاء, which is the plural demonstrative pronoun. Now, here is the amazing detail related to the use of هؤلاء, which the scholars of Tafsir have highlighted, and it is something that I don't really see many people talk about. If we take a closer look at the conversation between Allah the Almighty speaking directly to Musa alayhi salam in Surah Taha, Allah says, وَمَا أَعْجَلَكَ عَنْ قَوْمِكَ يَا مُوسَى. Allah said, and what made you hasten from your people, O Moses? To which then Musa replies, قال هم أولئك على أثري وعجلت إليك رب لترضى. Notice something strange? When Musa was speaking to Allah, he wanted to refer to his people and convey that they are not far off behind him. And so he used the near demonstrative pronoun. But notice how he did not say هؤلاء to refer to them. The ha was dropped, the particle of alerting, when he spoke to Allah. Why? Well, because Musa knows that Allah is always there, hearing and seeing everything. That Allah is As-Sami', the all-hearing, and Al-Basir, the all-seeing. So out of politeness, when speaking to the Almighty, he only used أولاء without the ha of alerting, because Allah does not need to be alerted. Furthermore, it highlights how close Musa feels to Allah. Now, let's compare how the disbelievers will speak to Allah in the Day of Judgment. وَإِذَا رَأَى الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا شُرَكَاءَهُمْ قَالُوا رَبَّنَا هَؤُلَاءِ شُرَكَاؤُنَا الَّذِينَ كُنَّا نَدْعُو مِن دُونِكَ. So they used هؤلاء when they were speaking to Allah, and this is found in all other situations where disbelievers speak to Allah, always using the alerting ha. Why? Well, they do this and speak in this manner because they never truly knew Allah or His infinite knowledge and power, a reflection of this ayah. وَمَا قَدَرُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. They have not appraised Allah with true appraisal. Now, the other way around. Notice how Allah addresses the people of the book in this ayah. ها أنتم هؤلاء حاججتم فيما لكم به علم. In this ayah, Allah used the particle of alerting 2 times, once attached to the second person pronoun, أنتم, to be ها أنتم, and the other time attached to the word أولاء, so هؤلاء. Scholars of Tafsir explain that this repetition is to emphasize their heedlessness and their absent-mindedness. This repetition acts like shaking the listener so they might wake up. It is like when talking to someone and you say, "Hey, you, I'm talking to you. Listen closely," just to grab their attention to the severity and the importance of the warning or what you're about to say. So these messages and embedded meanings are just within a single word and how it is used in the Quran. So, now that we understand the actual implicated meaning of this simple word, when putting these 2 ayat side by side, we realize translating هذا or هؤلاء as a simple this or these is, well, technically correct, but spiritually incomplete. The emotions, the politeness of Musa, the distance of the disbelievers, the heedlessness of the people of the book, the severity of Allah's warning, all of that is hidden inside a single word. This is exactly the reason why the Quran can only be truly experienced in Arabic. And no matter how hard they try, there will always be meanings lost in translation. And before you go, can you answer one of these 2? 1. We know that the word ماذا means what in Arabic, but looking at its spelling and recalling what we have learned today, what do you think ماذا is actually made up of? 2. For tajweed enthusiasts, do you know why the first med in the word هؤلاء is a disconnected med, while the second med in the same word is a connected med? Do you know why this is the case? Let me know your theories and answers in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my latest books with their video courses if you want to learn the Quran in Arabic or properly learn its tajweed. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, inshallah.